Hello, everybody.
Hello, I'm Aaron.
No, you're
Welcome to the
Stop
I'll
it.
See It Later on the Tabletop
so,
Test
wait,
podcast.
wasn't this like, do it in one take, and then you'll be able to edit it sooner so we can get it up. We're doing this on a Sunday. We usually do it on Saturday.
I'm talking shit about you.
Yeah,
That's staying
clearly.
in.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to I'll Watch It Later podcast, where I'm joined, as always, by my best friend, Jordan,
Hi, everybody.
and my asshole of a brother-in-law and producer, Scott.
That's me.
I was going to say, if you really wanted to give him shit, you'd be like, all right, for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to tell you everything we're going to do through December 2022.
Oh, no, I'm going to do that. I'm going to update us on that, too.
Can you edit this out?
Would you...
Can you do it? Can you edit it out?
Welcome back, guys. We are here with Jordan's movie. I'll get to that in just a minute. I know Jordan, after last episode, was like, people don't care about show business. But I do want to give you guys a little bit of an update because you're like, guys, the holidays is coming. You always release a show on Sunday. I feel like we have at least 21 faithful listeners out there. So how's this going to work? I mean, next week is Thanksgiving, then Christmas, blah, blah, blah. All right, so here's how this is going to go. We're going to do this show. We're going to do Scott's show next week because Thanksgiving is on a Thursday, not on a Saturday. Next month, it's going to be crammed full. You're actually going to get extra episodes. We have decided as a group, it's our group pick, our first I'll Watch It Later group pick. We're going to do Cockfighter episode.
Yes.
I'm so
And we're
excited.
going to release it for you on Christmas Day. So after you're done opening presents, eating food, you're playing your video games.
We're cockfighting and we're full releasing.
So after after everything's settled down, you just want to play a video game and listen to a podcast, you can listen to our Cockfighter review. We will break it down for you. And and then once again on the first we'll have a top 5 favorite movies.
I'm
of
not
all.
even kidding. I
of
went
the
on
year
to
for you?
the internet and looked for Cockfighter. I wanted my own copy. I went and I found it. I found 2 different versions that got released. One was like $10. I'm like, oh yeah, $10. And they're like, no, don't get this one. This one's a bad release. Get the other one that's like 27. I'm like, I don't know if I want to get it. But it is streaming. So those of you at home, if you want to get this copy and watch this movie with us, it is on Amazon Prime for streaming for like $4.
It's also on Pluto, and Pluto's free. All you got to do is download it, and it's like a weird thing, and you probably have ads, but Pluto is free. I've used it to watch a lot of older films, and I highly recommend that. But yeah, you can watch it on Amazon for $4.
So yes, I'm very happy about this.
Me too.
I re-listened to our last episode, and honestly, I'm sitting there going, I really want to watch Cockfighter now.
We're gonna watch Cockfighter.
We sold it to ourselves.
We're
Like
gonna-
I'm just like, I really want to watch this.
We're gonna watch it, and we're gonna release it on Christmas Day, so you guys can have. We're not even gonna miss a week for you guys. Let's see here. You can always follow along. Jordan has updated the Facebook. The Facebook is looking fresh. You can actually listen to the show on Facebook, which I'm really impressed with, Jordan. So go on to Facebook. It's I'll Watch It Later podcast. Go on to Twitter. At Watch It Later pod, and Instagram at Watch It Later pod. And then, as always, guys, please go on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Spotify, give us 5 stars, or whatever. Give us 1 star. I don't give a fuck. It'll be fun to read your reviews on the show. So, all right. I'm gonna send it over to you. If you want to talk more about the Facebook, that's cool. And then introduce your movie or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I just we got a Facebook page up. I hooked it up to the actual podcast webpage, so it does link to everything. You can get to our webpage, you can get to our website. You can listen to the actual podcast on there. I don't know what it does for our metrics. Who cares? You could at least hear the show, and that's awesome, and I like it.
I do think that's awesome. I really appreciate you setting that up because
Yeah.
it looks incredible right now. Also, send us a message there. You want us to watch a movie? You have a suggestion? You want me to stop talking? You don't give a fuck about me? Send us a message there, and we will gladly read it on the air. We will gladly get to you.
As much as Facebook sucks sometimes, it's very interactive, and it's a lot more interactive as far as like talking back and forth with people.
Yeah,
and
and
people
that's
posting.
and that's why I wanted to set that one up. I mean, I had the Instagram up and Twitter and stuff like that, and I do feel the interactivity of Facebook was going to be better for our show. So that's why that's connected to just about everything that we do. So it's on there. Scott has access. I'm not giving access to Aaron.
There's no point.
He's not on Facebook long enough to have that access, but he can interact with us.
You can come in and truthfully tell us what you think, and you won't get screamed at.
I'm going to have him banned.
I would never scream at anyone about their movie.
Yeah, that's on Reddit. So look for Aaron's Reddit page, iscreamatyou.com. But yes, the Facebook is up, and there's going to be a lot more coming to it. I will be posting the past episodes, ratings of our movies, our snacks, all that stuff. It's just going to take some time. So it will be up there, and going forward, once I get everything updated, it will be easier just to kind of go as we go. And then eventually we're going to do maybe some giveaways, things like that. We always are finding deals on movies. We got posters and stuff.
I have so many posters to give away 'cause there's
We,
nothing I can do with them.
yeah, if everyone wants, yeah, we. I ran out of wall space. I actually, that poster of Return of the Living Dead, I don't know where I'm putting it. I have to figure it out, but I have it framed. It's beautiful. I love it. But yeah, no, we're gonna do some giveaways. We're gonna get some stuff going. I really want to be more interactive with people, so it's gonna be cool.
And we appreciate all our listeners. But anyways, what movie did you force us to watch this week?
Forced you to watch 2018's Prospect.
$27.42 requesting release. I'm here to harvest. I have the location of a massive deposit of Orlac. The Queen's Lair. By my estimation, it's the largest anyone's ever seen. Someone is approaching.
Where are you from?
Nowhere.
How poetic.
The Queen's Lair.
Where is it?
Drop it!
Now, this is something I have never seen. In all my time in the green, a little girl. We're in the same trough, you and I.
You don't have a ship?
No, I don't. But you will find a way to get home if you find that buried treasure.
Why should I trust you? You're a killer.
I am indeed. But are you?
God damn it. We all did like the stupid idiot move away from the mic dab thing. So Prospect is what I would describe as a not aliens in terms of scary monsters, craziness, but very low-tech sci-fi, where it's out in space, it's on a different world, but the technology feels very low-tech, could break at any minute. I don't know how these people got out in space, type of science movie.
Well, it's a film festival movie.
Yeah, it's very low budget, but it still looked good for very low budget. It came out in 2018. Let's see. It's a teenage girl and her father travel to a remote alien moon aimed at striking it rich. So basically, it's a science movie taking place as if it were taking place, let's say, in the 1800s, gold rush of California, where these two are trying to go make it rich by gathering some kind of gem or some kind of precious stone from an alien creature.
From a ball sack.
Yeah, so an alien ball sack. Let's see, I'm bringing it up. It's got a young actress named Sophie Thatcher who, for the most part, did pretty well. She didn't have a whole lot of dialogue to really work with. She was very silent. Typical teenage girl. I mean, she got dragged to this moon or planet by her dad, played by J. Duplass. He's kind of the almost like a grifter type, drug addicts.
It was very Western. Like I kind of downplaying that, but it was very like this takes place on an alien planet, but is a Western, in my opinion, because that's all I felt the entire time watching this film. Is he was very like, we're gonna make it rich, and then we're gonna get back to the rich people place, and the daughter's like, oh, here we go again, Dad.
Right, and it seems like she has done this numerous times with him, like the get quick, rich quick scheme type stuff. And it did feel to me, I'm a big fan of Serenity and Firefly, and it felt like this movie almost takes place in that world. Not so much where you get the Chinese dialect and they have mixed stuff. It's just, you're like you said, it's very Western. It's very, Southern. For an alien, on an alien planet, you get a very Southern, Western vibe from it. And that's where, you kind of bring in Pedro Pascal's character, Ezra, who is a very smooth-talking,
It's kind of like outlaw.
Yeah.
They're all almost like everybody's kind
Like
of in their own like
everyone's-
outlaw
yeah,
scheme. They're
coming
all
to get
trying
their
to
own
get
shit.
this. They're all trying to get this gem, and they're all trying to kind of like get this stuff for whatever reason, and they're all kind of fighting about it. So
Right.
it's-
Right. He's when you introduce to him, he's kind of an asshole. Like I wasn't rooting for him in the beginning, and then towards the middle, I am. He has his own set of like moral code and all that stuff, and it's not like, oh, I hate you for this reason, or I'm going to kill you for this reason. But I'm going to keep bringing this up probably the entire time. It's very like Western. I'm almost like when we watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the West, and it was that I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the cowboy
Jason Robards'
Yes,
character.
Jason Robards' character. That's what it felt like to me as I was watching it. Like he's not a bad dude, but he has his own agenda, and it doesn't really matter if you're in his crosshairs. You can't.
I would say it's morally ambiguous.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
he will kill you.
Yes.
He will get his way, or he will try to do whatever he can to get his way. But when it comes to certain things, like I guarantee you, he would have prevented something bad happening to that girl.
I agree.
He would have never killed that girl if somebody tried to have their way with her. He would have stopped them. He's got a set of morals, but he's also an asshole.
Right.
Which
we kind of see towards the middle of this film when that like weird colony tries to buy her, and she runs
Yes.
away, but you're left with this like, would you have sold me to these people? And he says no, but you kind of like, well, I don't know because that's not what happened.
Right, and I think the character you were looking for was Cheyenne.
That's right. Yes.
Well,
Thank you so much.
of like, I mean, it comes in with like almost like a fatherly figure thing, because she ends up kind of losing her father in this movie, and then kind of he takes on that persona almost, because I mean, most guys aren't dicks,
Well, her dad was like, I didn't feel one bit upset that her dad got murked out.
Right.
Like so they get to this planet. The daughter's already like not wanting to be there, and already upset that they're gonna miss their flight back, because like I said, it's very low tech. So how they got there was dropped off by basically like one of those old timey satellite type long distance spaceships, and it's got to basically go around and slingshot around the moon or the planet, and then you get a ride back or you don't go home. And
Right.
she is freaked out that they're not going to make it. She knows who her dad is. She knows he's kind of a fuck up. And so she's constantly paranoid that they're not going to make their flight back. We got to go. We got to get back. Let's just whatever. And so they come across Ezra and some silent guy. And this dude's carrying like he's in fucking Predator or something like that. He's got the biggest gun on his carry, and I don't know where they
Belt-fed.
came from. And they kind of happen on the other two, and it becomes like this Mexican standoff. And at some point, someone pulls the trigger, someone shoots, the big silent dude gets killed, her dad gets shot, and not dead, but he gets shot, and she runs. She takes off. Ezra gets up, unhooks himself from the other guy, because like I said, so low tech that they all share like breathing filters and stuff on tubes, and they got these big old like space helmets on.
The planet is poison. So,
Right.
But yeah, going kind of piggybacking off of what you're saying, it's very like, I don't know, outlaw. Like, once again, it's very Western. It's very
Reminds me of like a mix
rides-
of Predator meets Mad Max, in a sense. Where
Predator.
Predator with the whole sci-fi thing, and
I thought the only sci-fi thing about this was that they were in space. I thought everything on the ground was Western. I'm just say Western.
just the
a million times.
characters kind of reminded me of like the Predator movie, where it's there you've got like the people, they're hunting this guy, that's what it kind of gave me the vibe of. And then with the costuming and stuff, which I actually enjoyed, like visually, like the costuming, because
Right.
it very, like I said, it was more like Mad Max to me, where everything was like almost steampunk.
Right, like it was almost like you could see duct tape holding holes that they had in their suits shut. Like it was very, like I said, very low tech for being a science fiction movie, and I think that's what I liked a lot about it, is that it wasn't the future. I mean, they were even calling their guns throwers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because it was so just low tech. Like they just built these things that probably shot nails or bolts or something like that. Like,
and to me that felt very Western.
Right.
Like you have these guns that have like you got to reload after every shot type of thing. And, but it was very like guy walks into town, no name man walks into town, clearly has a name in this film. He's not a good guy, he's not a bad guy, he's an anti-hero, and they have a mission to complete to get rich. It goes kind of sideways, and then he rides out of town, which was the plot to like every 1960s Western on the planet, and they just happened to make this on a very, a sci-fi thing. And I like that about it. I like Westerns. I like that type of feel. If I had any problems with this film, it just didn't feel very complete. And what I mean by that is like it was an okay and film. Okay, and what else? Like this happens, nothing goes the way anybody wants it to go, and then it ends. And it works sometimes, but I just felt like I needed way more from this film, like way more answers, way more information. Even as a Western, you still, that people still have reasonings, and you always get like a kind of a character dialogue, like, whoa, he's from Texas and he's riding in because his mom's dying and blah blah blah. He needs the money and he doesn't care who's in his way. But this, you really didn't get any sense of where this was going. And when the final credits roll, you're just like, well, wait, what else? What else? And I applaud you. It's only an hour. I think it was an hour and 28 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes. But I could have tacked on an extra 20 minutes just to be like, this is what we're going to do when we get off this planet. This is how the rest of this is going to go. Just like a little epilogue even. But I don't give it too much crap for that. I just wanted more, I guess.
And I guess maybe that's a good thing. Like, it was a movie that made you want more, versus some of these movies we're watching, we're like, oh, please end. You know what I mean? Like, even a short movie, you're like, oh, what is the point of this? Just get on with it. I think this movie was based on a short film. So, like you said, very indie film type of thing. It's on the special features of the 4K that I got. I haven't watched it yet, but I am going to kind of go into it a little bit more and see if there was...
I got the 4K.
That's right.
The Mandalorian. It was $42.
Oh, my God. I didn't spend that much. But, jokes aside, his dialogue in the movie, being pretty much the only guy that really had a lot of good dialogue to chew, was great. Like, I loved the way he spoke. I loved just... It wasn't even really, was it an accent that he had? Like, to me, I felt it was very Southern gentleman, very smooth talk, trying to always talk his way out of something. I mean, he gets shot by the girl after they have the little Mexican standoff, the dad doesn't die, the girl runs off, and you can tell already how this guy really is. He picks up a gun, goes over to the dad, who's clearly still alive, and shoots him. Definitely kills the dad. Then he goes to try to find their ship. The girl's already in there. She can't get it to work. It's busted. He gets in there, and she immediately shoots him. So already, the guy that you think is going to be the bad guy gets shot himself. So now he's hurt. He's trying to figure things out. And so he strikes a deal with her. And he talks her into it in such a smooth way after, taking all the painkillers and repairing his gunshot. And... from there on, it's like no matter what he's doing, he's always trying to talk his way into a different situation. With the people they ran across that were trying to buy the girl, the mercs later on in the story when they were trying to harvest the rest of the whatever they're calling it. It's always like he's trying to smooth talk somebody, and I liked the way he did it. And I think if you're gonna have someone pretty much have 90% of the dialogue, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, because she definitely didn't talk. What did you think, Scott? You have been quiet over there.
Okay, so there's like and I was kind of trying to think about this in kind of a perspective of, we have. I don't think we have kind of a middle ground when it comes to movie people. We have me, and then we have you guys.
Right.
So there's like I think like an average moviegoer. You have like probably your more advanced moviegoer, and then you have like what you would call like your cinephile person who's like really into movies, that it likes a big genre, a big range of movies. I think for the average person, they're not going to enjoy this movie.
No,
this is not an average person movie. So going back and looking at some of the stuff on it, I was like, oh, okay, it's a South by Southwest film based on a short film adaptation. I was like, this is why I whatever.
I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you out. Don't look at him. You would have said the
I
same
did.
thing.
I laughed and I turned away. So, based on that premise alone, I would say that it probably almost already like I don't like it because I've tried watching these short movies, these film festival movies that everybody raves about, and I just can't get into them. However, like I said, the visuals in this movie are cool. I like the costuming. I like the fact that they got Pedro Pascal to do this movie. Maybe gives us some bonus points. I just felt like for me, the pacing was super slow, and that wasn't able to supersede everything else of the movie for me.
I know you're not it has to be fast paced or get out of, or I don't like it type of way. And I don't think that necessarily works. I think it worked as a slow movie this time because it was interesting.
Sometimes.
I think, there are movies where it's like, okay, get to the fucking point.
I'm not a slow burn person.
Right, I know you're not.
Definitely not a slow burn person.
It's got to grab you.
Yeah, if you give me a slow burn, chances are I have checked out. I am fucking gone, man. I've punched my receipt and I am out the door.
And that was my worry about this because up until the Mexican standoff where the dad ends up getting killed, it is a very slow pace.
That's like the first 20 minutes of the film.
Well, that's what worried me. I was like, okay, it's very slow. And then it picks up just a little.
It does a little bit.
But not a ton. So it's still a slower moving movie.
I was really concerned, man, because I was like, okay, where is this movie going to go? Is it going to bring me back in? For a time being, so when they found these gems and they were showing how they were trying to dissect them from the ball sack,
right?
That was
God damn it.
Because apparently it's got to be this like very intricate precision surgery to extract this thing or it completely ruins it.
Yeah, like something on the inside like melts it with some acid and then kills this gem. So yeah, there is.
So that kind of got me a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, maybe. So now I'm kind of interested again. And I wanted to see like kind of where that went. And it just, again, it was like they kind of slapped it in there and was like, okay, we're going to give you a little bit of this. Now we're going to go back into some more dialogue. And we're just going to talk for a really long time. And then we're going to introduce these characters that don't say much. And it's more visual. And I don't know. Like I said, for the average person, they're probably not going to like this movie much. For your advanced people, because again, I went back and started doing some research on it because I want to know a little bit more about the movie. A lot of people love this movie and say how great it is. And I was like, okay, like I can see that. But for me, it was just, like I said, the pacing of it, the extra dialogue, things like that. It just didn't bring me back to the point where, like, I wanted to, I guess, for lack of better words, really care about this movie.
I feel like it almost like it's a setup to a larger story that they're never going to tell.
I think it's based on the premise. I think it could be a very good story.
Yeah.
And you could get that almost alien type vibe with this movie, but I think it just never quite hit because I maybe because I've seen it with Alien, there is kind of a monster aspect to Alien where there really isn't this story. The monster is the planet because the planet is toxic and it's them trying to survive this planet.
I would say the monster's inside you all along.
This is not an Ari Aster movie.
No, I just kind of piggybacking off what you said. The reason we don't bring this up a lot is because I don't think it's a great barometer. I think it's fun to look at sometimes, but if you check the Rotten Tomatoes score, 89% from critics, 70% from people, which
for critics and people, that's really close.
Exactly. So, once again, like I said, I hate using Rotten Tomatoes as any sort of metric because it can be tampered with, but this is kind of like either you like it or you don't. Rotten Tomatoes has no bearing on that. But I just found it very interesting how close it was between the critics and the people because it's just you either love this movie or you fucking hate this movie, which I read on Letterboxd, which I find to be a little bit more accurate.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of where I feel it kind of falls.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I think there would be some casuals that would like it because the Mandalorian's in it and they're like, oh, he's
and I think that would bring in a lot of the audience. There's a huge fan base for him out there, and I think they'll come across and be like, oh, he's in this. I'll watch this movie.
Yeah.
But they won't know what they're getting themselves into.
Right. And they'll be severely
And then they'll be
disappointed.
like, okay, this is moving along. Oh, there he is. oh, they're cutting his arm off. Oh,
She does.
shit. Yeah, no, okay, so I'm going to talk about that scene. That scene probably was one of my favorite parts of the movie because it was very realistic in how I think I would react in that situation. He gets his arm shot again or something, or his arm basically after his gunshot wound gets infected. He can't figure it out. So at some point, you got to cut off the arm. So they numbed it up. His arm's numb. He can't do anything with it. She goes, "Are you going to feel anything?" He goes, "Nope." Cut away. And he's very cavalier about it until he sees her cutting. And then he starts to panic. Like, you could see it on his face. You could hear it in his voice. He's freaking out that, the reality of it is my arm is getting cut off right now. And you could hear her cutting. And he's got this little scalpel tool that, like, you can change the degrees of how much you're cutting. And you got to cut through the bone. And she's so calm about it because her dad's, traipsed around the galaxy doing fucked up jobs. So she's got, experience on, cutting away body parts or whatever. And he's just like, why are you so calm? Like, he's actually almost upset that she's this calm about cutting his arm off. And just, I think that whole scene kind of solidified their relationship as, the father-daughter figures, even though they're, far from it. And I just really enjoyed that in the weirdest way because I would react the same way. Like, okay, I know the reality of it. I'm going to do it until you look at what's happening. And then you're like, holy shit, my arm's getting cut off. And he starts to panic and you can just see it. And it doesn't make me happy, but I understood it. And it was a great scene. I love that scene.
Yeah. That was a fun scene. I mean, this movie's just moments of fun scenes followed by like moments of dialogue.
A lot of dialogue.
I mean, I like the dialogue though. I just thought, like I said, I didn't necessarily see a point in this film. That if I was telling you to watch a bunch of movies or from our show, I would put this near the end. And what I mean by that is, like, I would never recommend you Safe Men, but I would say, here are some movies we saw that were good. I'd say watch these and then maybe get to this if you have time. This is just a series of what am I trying to say here? This is just a series of, like, we're going to run into this as much as we do the show, but just, it's okay. It's middle of the water. Like, there's nothing egregious about this film. I just don't see, this isn't like one I would say run out there, watch it. If you're a cinephile, this needs to be on your list or anything like that. It's just, it exists. It exists in the pantheon of fucking movies that if you're bored sitting at home on a Sunday, you could probably throw this on and you'll either like it or you won't. That's the best I can go.
I'm looking at a movie on our table right now, and this is what this movie reminds me of.
Really?
It's a movie that I really enjoyed. It's a movie that is very slow moving.
You will never watch it.
I will probably never watch
it. Well,
this,
that's what I'm saying, is that it's a slow moving movie that I really enjoyed. I like the dialogue. I like the premise. I like a lot about this movie and the movie that's on our table. I can't tell people to go out and watch it.
Did we see it together?
You and I saw this movie. Remember, because we went to, this is the movie I was thinking of. We went and saw this movie together, and then we had groups of teenage boys and girls coming to see this movie, and I'm going, they're in for a treat, because I don't think they understand what they're about to watch.
And for those of you
and I
listening,
know about it.
It's The Green Knight.
So
you just stole his thunder. He was setting it up.
I don't even want to.
Do you know what his setup is? Jesus Christ.
But yes, The Green Knight is sitting in front of me, and that's what this movie reminds me of. It was a series of events, a lot of beautiful scenery, a lot of dialogue, but it's not the movie I would say everyone should go out and watch.
Right.
Because this is not a movie everyone should like.
There are people in my
life.
life.
I love this movie.
Yes.
No one's going to watch this movie.
There are people in my life I would tell watch Prospect, and then there's people in my life I wouldn't tell. Like, I would not tell Scott to watch The Green Knight because he'll be like, hey, I'm going to ruin everybody's podcast.
What is the point of this movie?
But yeah, I agree with you. That's kind of along the same lines as Prospect. I didn't hate it. I don't think as much as Scott did, but I think me and Scott are more along the same lines as you. I can appreciate what this movie was, but at the same time, I was like,
I wouldn't say I hated it.
Okay,
I wouldn't say I hated it. And I actually thought with the opening scene, with the opening credits, came in like a Grindhouse movie where it's got the music, it's got the kind of that surfer vibey kind of music coming into it, and I really thought I was getting into some kind of almost like a Tarantino ripoff type movie where it was using it as like a sci-fi. You did watch the beginning, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it kind of comes in with that.
Do you know what Grindhouse is?
It's that movie, that Tarantino-esque kind of vibe that it came in with.
Yeah, no, I get what you're trying to
Okay.
say.
So Grindhouse is like a low-budget horror film that's played late at night because there's no audience for it. But that's fine. I understand what you're saying.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's the vibe I got from this movie from reading the synopsis, was that it was like this was going to be almost like an alien, like a, like this toxic planet that's trying to kill these people, and almost kind of like a suspenseful sci-fi horror type movie.
Well, and that's why I think this is...
And I didn't get that.
Well, this is why I compare it to Alien, because if you look at Alien as a movie, if you take the aliens completely out, their ship is very low budget. They're very they're miners. They're shippers. They're all these things. But the technology doesn't feel futuristic. It doesn't feel like, they're laser beams and all this shit. That's what I liked about this movie. It's another one of those, and I called it like lo-fi science fiction. It's just they have to wear these big bubbly suits, and they're attached to filters, and they have to use scalpels, and they're not using advanced weaponry. They must have built some of this shit in their backyard and duct taped it together to go, to go mine this this alien artifact that everyone apparently loves. Now, I'm sure we're seeing like I said, the 1800s gold miners, doing it with the least amount of money to try to maximize their profits. There's probably a whole new world out there that's probably way more shiny and pretty.
Well,
we're seeing the outskirts.
That's what he was saying at the beginning is, we'll have enough money to get back to Central, which must be like the main,
right?
Like would be like the city in Western. So I go back to Western because it was we're living on the outskirts. We're trying to hustle.
I think they called it the Green.
Yeah.
So like this is the Old West, the prairie. This is the thing. They want to get back to New York. Yeah, they want to get to the big metropolitan areas.
Right.
And you're right. It feels like, okay, and what else? Right. Because there is a world now that I am interested in that I'm afraid I'm never going to see. And it sucks because now I'm building it in my head like, what else could they have done? Where else could they have gone? How are they going to explain, this one-armed man who's pretty much dying because he gets stabbed at the end by one of the mercs, and she rescues him even though she had every opportunity to leave him. So, like, you could tell they bonded at this point, and she's taken off. And then the movie ends, and you're like, shit, what else?
Right. So that was kind of what I was saying. It's more like they didn't get. So the whole premise of the film is they're trying to find, I can't remember what he called it, but it was like a plethora of these gems so that they could get all the money or credits or whatever to get back to this.
Yeah, whatever their currency is.
To get to this like rich planet, and they were going to split it. So they get, at the end, they find the mercenaries and they find the cachet of crystals, but she can't do it even though she watched her father do it a million times. She winds up destroying one of the crystals. It turns into kind of like a melee where they have to take out the mercenaries that their dad had made a deal with. And then they leave the planet. They just get on their ship and they leave. They do not complete their goal. So what happens? They do not. It's not a happy ending. They just get on a ship and leave. There's no, and I mean, spoiler alert, clearly, but we do that here on the show. What is the point? Like, they don't have any money. They're going back up onto the ship. Well, they don't really know each other.
I think they had a few, because remember when the other tribe was the religious zealots were going to buy her? He ends up murking everybody while she ran off. So they had, I think, a suitcase full of them.
Mother load.
No, but it's still enough to probably get by.
Could probably get to the next planet.
I don't think that's bad in a story, though, because sometimes failure is fine.
No, I don't mind the failure, but if you're just going to show me them leaving the planet and nothing else happening, I kind
of took that as the Elements 1. The planet beat you, and the people are all out there fighting the planet. But the secondary fight is that they're all fighting themselves when really they should be fighting the planet.
Right. The monster is with them.
So I'm fine. I'm fine with the failure aspect of it. I wasn't that didn't detract me.
It's not the failure. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't care. That's fine. There's plenty of movies that I love where the hero does not win. But but I wouldn't even consider him a hero. He's more like an anti-hero.
Right.
But now I don't even think they completely felt each other out this entire film. I mean, I know she cuts his arm off, and I know they go through that whole religious zealot thing, but they're still filling each other out. They're now leaving this planet together. Are they going to stick together? Are they going to go their separate ways? Or, what is going to happen to these people now? And it's just more like that sucks as an ending. I really did not like the ending of this film, and I don't mind a choose-your-own-adventure ending. Like, you have to think about it, but it was more like, what's going to happen? Because this girl lost her dad. This dude found this girl, and they're friends, but who knows? They cash in, they separate.
I think for him, it was a relationship built on mutual survival, and I think for her, it was a relationship built on I needed a father figure that was better than my fucking asshole of my dad,
Right.
who all he wants to do is get high and try to make a buck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I want to
she
try
looked
that sweet
because
cocaine
otherwise,
eye drops.
yeah, seriously, it's like Visine cocaine version. But you know, she wanted to get off the planet. She could have. She had every opportunity, and she went back.
Right.
Had the roles been reversed, I don't know if he would have done that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think the relationship was different on each side of it. I think her coming back to get him may have changed that. You know, because he was like, you know, go, I'm dead, get out of here.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to survive this, just go. And she had every opportunity to leave. She comes back and saves him anyway, after the random guy who was a prisoner breaks out and beats the shit out of somebody. What was the guy in the box? Like, that was so weird.
That was weird.
All of a sudden,
That was
he's out of the
fucking
box,
weird.
and then he's beating someone to death. I'm like, okay, thanks, rando guy in the box. And then they
Plot
get in the thing
device.
to, right? Like,
Well,
guy in the box, ex machina.
Right, pretty much, because he lost his arm, and then, you know, she can't really do anything. So
Yeah, they were pretty much dead except
we'll
for
put
random guy
in the box.
But no, I mean, yet the ending does fall a little under the. I wish there was more to it. Like you said, if they tacked on 20 more minutes of something,
Yeah,
it could have elevated that to even a way better movie. Like I like this movie. I like these types of movies.
Yeah.
This felt like an A24 movie.
Annihilation. For some reason, to me, it felt like Annihilation.
I hate that movie.
I
hate that book.
I figured you were going to say that, but it felt like Annihilation to me. And what I mean by that, if anyone's seen Annihilation, you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about, Aaron? It just had the same vibe, not even close to the same story, clearly.
Right.
But I feel like I'm missing the meaning in this one, whereas in Annihilation, it's all about like cancer and stuff like that. But in this one, I feel like there's a deeper message that I'm missing because I did a little bit of extra research too. It's made by it's 3 different directors, and one of them's like a Harvard graduate, economist or something like that. So I'm thinking that there's something in there that I'm just not getting, and I'd be interested to do some more research. How about you, Scott? You're very quiet over there ever since I scolded you about the Green Knight.
I'm sitting here with my head down.
You would never watch this incredible movie, asshole.
No.
Because I'm the asshole. I was like, I just figured that I was like, okay, nobody knows what we're fucking talking
I
about
know,
here.
but it's
so I was just like,
set up.
okay, it's like, and
all good.
I didn't realize that you were setting it up. I
Yes.
fucking missed the lob.
It's okay. It's
because
okay, dude.
I'm an asshole.
No,
Okay,
you're not. You're my favorite actor.
I
love
wouldn't
it.
have said anything, but you know.
But, you know, I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Directors are weird because it's like, I guess that's why Hollywood only has like a pool of directors, because some directors really know how to get to an audience.
Right.
And others, and I think that's where a lot of these South by Southwest, these whatever the other fucking film festival is.
Cons.
Yeah, shit like that. Is you have these early directors, and I don't think they realize how to present that to people. I think they have a story and they want to tell that story. Sometimes they don't know how to bring the audience in and adapt that to an audience of a bunch of different people, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think at the same time they don't really care. They
Well,
just want to tell their story. And
there-
Right.
there are directors.
But that's why they'll never direct another movie, probably.
But see, there are other directors that have done that and made movies for a wider audience, and then have now gone back and said, I'm making a movie for me. I don't care if any, like, look at Kevin Smith. All his movies commercially when he first started off have been pretty well accepted. And then he's like, I've made my money.
Right.
I've got my fame. I've got all my accolades. I'm making movies for me. And now we're getting Red State, Tusk. We're getting, you know,
Yoga Hosers.
Yoga Hosers, which is the worst movie I've ever
made.
seen.
Well, in not going with movies, I mean, musicians do it too.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why we got fucking Saint Anger, because
We were talking about Metallica earlier.
musicians, they say, okay, we've done it. We've appealed to the masses.
Right.
And sometimes appealing to the masses isn't what you want to do, but that's what makes you the money. And they want to reel back. I mean, again, talking about music, Aerosmith did this with like a fucking album where they kind of did like this bluesy album, and everybody hated it. And that's the same thing with directors. Is I think a lot of these directors go back after they've kind of set their foot in and said, okay, now I can make the shit that I want to make that makes no sense to anybody but me.
A lot of people do that, like David Lynch does it. A lot of the like 60s directors and stuff like that. I know Argento and Fulci, they made like incredibly popular movies in Italy, and then they were given the reins to do their own stuff, and we get stuff like Trauma and other stuff like that, just bringing it back to movies. But yeah, I agree. The dude the 3 guys that directed this, none of them have done another movie since. So this was their passion project.
Do you think that maybe this movie, if it's going to suffered from having too many cooks in the kitchen? Like maybe they all had a vision of how something should be, and they all kind of tugged and pulled, and it ended up just being this
No,
you know what I mean?
I think it's more because they're like, because the 2 of them are Hollywood, I'll put that in quotations, directors, and the other guy is clearly like a business guy who I think they wanted to get the science right, and I think they brought in the 3rd guy to get the science right instead of being a producer. They're like, we'll give you director's credit, and you just kind of tell people how they should be acting in this scenario. I think that they made the movie they want to make. Like, to be honest, this is how I'd want to do it, because I've always wanted to make a movie, and if I never made another movie, that'd be fine. And I know some people would probably like it, some people would probably hate it. So in that sense, I think that maybe just they just made the movie they wanted to make, and they got it out there. And
I just visioned your movie. It's just Aaron standing in lines for 2 hours.
I do love the stand in line. No, but so what did we give it? We'll start with Scott.
Yeah,
We'll go to.
So I think I've kind of said my piece, and like I said, for the average moviegoer, this is not something that they're probably going to enjoy. I didn't hate the movie. I watched it. I've seen it. For me, it's probably a 2 because, like I said, for the most part, I think there's a lot of things that maybe you could have been better, and it could have been a really cool movie. I like the concept of it. I think it just fell short on the deliverance of it and the pacing for me. It was like super slow for me, anyways.
Yeah. I've already kind of said this a million times. It's very Western to me. It's very science fiction to me. I did like this movie. I sat in here while you guys were out there watching home videos, and I watched it, and I was thoroughly entertained. But I don't know who I would recommend this film to, and I don't really know who I could talk about this film to. I don't.
Not me.
Once again, it's in the pantheon of it's there and it exists, and it is what it is type of film. If I scrolled past it, I wouldn't probably even give it a second glance. I give it a 2.5 because I think I didn't hate it at all. I liked it a lot. I'd go to if you wanted to go to the theater and see it with like one of the directors or something, I definitely would, because I'd have a ton of questions. But it ends at I saw it and I'm gonna move on now. So I'm not gonna really talk to anybody about it. Like I know I have a lot of film friends in my life. I don't think that they care about this film. So that's where it is for me. It's just an okay and what now? So not disparaging your film at all.
No,
just
not
saying,
at all.
I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was anything overly special. Is all.
Well, and this is, I think, where we're going to differ, and this is where you say, I don't want to disparage the movie you picked, and this is where I'm saying, I'm not making this score because it's my movie.
Yes, you are.
I'm giving it for me personally, these are the types of movies I like, and I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Oh, that's... I thought you were going to give it a 5. I was going to be like, all right.
Oh,
dude.
fuck that. I don't give 5 for shit.
I can see that
No.
because I can see where guys like you enjoy these types of movies.
Yeah.
I mean, again... I'm the Fast and Furious. I'm the freaking
Yes, you
Transformers. I'm the that's the stuff that captivate me with some kind of a. If you're not going to captivate me with a story, captivate me with some kind of an explosion. Yeah, something.
Ooh, pretty colors.
But I can see if you're more into movies, this is a movie that you're probably going to enjoy.
Yeah, and that's I enjoyed that, and it did move slow. The complaints about it are very warranted. It is a slow-moving movie. For a short movie, it's slow.
I don't care about pace. Like I've always, I think I said this towards the end. I don't care about pacing. Like pacing is not a big deal to me. The movie's slow, but it has a slow burn, but it has a payoff. I just don't think there was any payoff. Whereas,
No.
and I don't, and people are like, well, what do you need a giant action scene or something? No, that's not what I'm talking about. A payoff would be an answer or some kind of, dialogue,
closure to something.
Yeah, a
you know,
closure
yeah.
to something. There was just no closure to this film. It's just like I feel like the narrative was just thrown out the window, and they were like, "Let's make this movie." And then somebody came up to them and was like, "How does it end?" And they're like, "I don't know." They leave, and it's like, all right,
They're in a diner and we go black.
yeah, something like.
Oh, man.
And then
Soprano.
that's up to you. That's up to you to think about
I
what
like
to interpret the
because
ending.
that's a fine.
But that's
ending.
fine. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is that's fine, and sometimes it just doesn't hit. Sometimes people try to do that, and it doesn't translate to the audience.
And that's why I agree with you on that. I didn't hate this movie at all. I just,
No, and I'm
I
not
think
saying
if
your
we
scores
would've-
reflect that. I think just for me, these are the types of movies I enjoy. I love science fiction. I love horror. I love science fiction. I love all those types of movies. And to do something that I felt was familiar and original at the same time was kind of cool. I do feel like it did give me a little glimpse of a world that I want more of. And that's why I'm not rating it much higher, because then I'm not going to see much of that world. So now I'm stuck thinking about, okay, where could they have gone? What could they do? I liked like I said, the Dollar Tree aspect of they built these suits, they built these ships. None of this is good. Like, they immediately dropped off the main ship to go land on the ship, and their ship broke. Like, they're driving a fucking 88 Honda. You know what I mean? Like, they're not in the fanciest of things. They're not just going to roll out of this planet. Everything has reason. There are limits, and there's science to it, and I like that.
That brings it back to what Scott was saying about like the Mad Max aspect.
Exactly.
Of it. And
It is very much
And
like
I do
that.
give it credit for that. I need more from the story.
But it also lends to, I think that's how also they made this movie. They only had like a $3 million budget, and they didn't ADR a lot of the dialogue. All that dialogue was coming through that helmet, so it felt very organic the way all that happened. And all the little glittery things in the atmosphere. You think
Annihilation.
that was done practically. Like, they had to do things practical in this movie. This movie is very, very short on special effects.
It's interesting to me that you didn't like Annihilation, but you like this film, and only because I would say like the effects are almost identical.
Well, the effects wise, yes, but I didn't like Annihilation because I didn't like the book. I read the book. I was like, this book's kind of bad. They're making a movie. It had a good cast. I watched the movie, and I just felt like, it was okay.
Okay.
Like, I didn't hate the movie. It was just...
I really love that movie. I think it's very underrated, but whatever.
So, yeah, 3.5 for me. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 2.5,
And then
right
we
in
got
the
a
middle of
2.
the road.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and just so you guys know, I'm not going. Even if I gave it a 1, it's not because I don't want to, hurt Jordan's feelings or
He
anything.
didn't like
Always.
that I hated Safe Man.
No.
He's like, you know what? You annihilated my movie.
Well, I just feel like I kind of set it up as like, oh, I don't want to upset you. It's a 2.5. My thing is, I don't want to upset you in general just because you pick a bad movie. But I am always going to score honestly, even if I have to break your heart a little bit.
What people didn't see is when you left the studio last week, Aaron was shouting. He was like, I'm going to fucking give your movie fucking terrible scores because you didn't give my movie. See, people don't see this stuff with us.
I thought you were waving goodbye when I got in my car. That was your fist in the air with your middle finger extended. Oh,
No,
okay.
because Safin was terrible, and I'm so sorry I made any of you watch it. So actually, funny thing is we're picking holiday movies in December, and I was going to make you guys watch 12 Dates of Christmas, but I am changing it. I am
do.
changing it because I'm just tired of picking
I
bad
would
films.
gonna watch 4 Christmases.
Honestly, for Christmas movies, I would totally watch it.
I'm going to watch it alone, and maybe I'll bring it up on the show, but
It's got Zack attack Zach Morris, man.
I know, but I just...
Why was I thinking Mario Lopez was in that one?
So going back to steal all my content, and when I wanted to make this show, I stole somebody else's idea. But that movie was on the podcast about movies that I love, and the guys who like Quentin Tarantino and stuff who actually talked to him, they recommended 12 Days of Christmas, and I knew you guys had
hate you
never
so
seen
much.
it. But I'm not picking it. I'm going with something else. So. They
I know,
said it's
but
like the
you,
only
You literally
good...
ranted on why I picked this movie because it was The
I
Mandalorian
know.
and it had nothing to do with it.
But it wasn't Quentin Tarantino who said it. It was just the guys on that show.
So
who were
Quentin's podcast suggested a movie that you had to see,
I
and now
wanted
we're
to
going to do a Christmas retrospective on a Quentin Tarantino suggested movie that
we're
we
not.
saw on your shelf.
What?
Cockfighter.
On this
that,
podcast,
yes.
we could go 6 degrees of Quentin Tarantino.
But here's the
Would be
deal.
1 degree for
I have
Aaron.
not picked any movies
Mouth
off
to
of that
dick.
show. since we started this show. Cockfighter was something I didn't. You guys brought it up when I was pointing at my DVDs.
No, I think Cockfighter is going to be. It's going to go down as one of those historical moments in our show because
my favorite episode.
It was such off the cuff because it was right there, and I don't know, man. I'm excited for this one.
Are we going to find our voice in episode 46?
Right.
That's an inside joke. You don't know that joke yet.
We haven't got there yet.
No, we haven't got there yet. But getting back to our actual show, let's get to Scott. Scott, what is your film this week?
So I'm going to build this up now, and I'm not gonna yell at you if you ruin.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm gonna fucking ruin it, just like you did Jordan.
So this movie was something that, of course, I haven't seen, and talking to you guys, you haven't seen it either. Now, I got taken to California.
Okay.
To Tarantino's theater.
What?
By who?
With Aaron at midnight. This was one of the previews of one of the movies when that they were showing before the feature. And I looked at that. I'm like, I've never seen this movie, and it actually maybe kind of looks funny. So with that, they classify it as a crime comedy drama. It's directed by Martin Scorsese. Woohoo! Which Aaron will automatically a 4.5.
It's a 5.
Yeah, it starts at a 4.5.
It starts at a 4.5.
And it'll only go up.
It can only go up, and it has the chance to lose me.
Starring Griffin Dunn, Rosanna Arquette, and Verna Bloom from 1985. We have After Hours.
Why don't you just go home?
I've been asking myself that one all night long.
So what happened? Why can't you?
I met this girl tonight, okay, in a coffee shop.
I feel like something incredible is really going to happen here.
So when I got home, I gave her a call. On the cab on the way down here, all my money flew out the window. I didn't really get along with her that well.
What's the matter?
I said, I want to see a plaster of Paris bagel and cream cheese paperweight. Now cough it up. So I left. Gigi! So I haven't got enough money to get home until I meet this bartender who wanted to lend me the money. That's all right. Forget it. That's all right.
Poor boy.
So I go back to the girl's apartment, but her roommate's really pissed off at me for the way I treated her friend.
This the guy?
Hi. So I march right in there to apologize. Come on! But she'd already killed herself. I was too late.
Oh, wow.
Lighten up! What is this?
I'm in big trouble. Big trouble! Now this part, you're gonna say, oh, you're lying to me. Don't lie to me. But it's true. Mohawk this guy! I couldn't believe that. It's him! Tell him. It's not my fault. I didn't do it.
I gotta tell who you didn't do what.
Help! 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 Call the police!
What's with you? Are you nuts or something?
Luckily, there was this girl who saw the whole thing.
You're dead, pal.
And what? So now she's the one in the Mr. Softy ice cream truck who's trying to kill me.
I'm so excited. I've never seen this film. Guess what? I own it. I've never seen it. But that's going to change this week. Yeah, so I'm stoked because I've been wanting to watch this movie forever. Never really thought about it. So I'm so glad that the podcast is forcing me to watch it. I'm very, very, very excited.
It's got such a weird summary of the movie. It says an ordinary word processor has the worst night of his life after he agrees to visit a girl in Soho who he met that evening at a coffee shop. So a word processor. So we're already getting with a really exciting, career choice, and we're gonna get this guy's bad decisions through the whole movie.
I really don't want to make this a Tarantino podcast at all, but I'm almost positive this is the movie that had Tarantino cast Arquette in I want to say Pulp Fiction. Wasn't she the?
Oh, I've seen the box art for this.
Yes,
Katana times.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a stopwatch.
Yes.
It's got his head, and there's two female fingers twisting his head around like the dial on a stopwatch.
Okay. Yeah, it's Griffin Dunn is a guy that I've seen in a ton of movies. I couldn't have named him to save my life.
He's,
so yes, I have.
I don't want to even say character actor, but he's that.
He's been in some stuff, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I've definitely never seen this, but all right.
It's got that typical 80s cover,
shit.
It's like, and that's what it kind of excites me because it's that VHS looking cover.
What a cast in this. Okay, so we've got, Griffin Dunn, Rosanna Arquette. We got Linda Fiorentino, which you've seen from Men in Black, the first Men in Black, actually. Terry Garr, John Hurd, who played the dad in Home Alone, Catherine O'Hara, who I love to death, Tommy Chong, Cheech Marin, Bronson Pinchot,
Yeah, I don't know
Dick
what-
Miller, who you have probably, I guarantee you've seen. Will Patton is in this, who we saw in Halloween. Let's see. Damn, this is a cast.
Yes.
I'm
See,
afraid
I
this
didn't
is going to
even
be bad.
I didn't
Like,
even
do
know
not wanna
half
see
that
it.
cast. I just saw like the first few people that were in it. I didn't know Cheech and Chong was in this movie.
Oh no, this has a ton of people in it. Oh yeah,
Early Will Patton too.
Yeah, like,
which
this
I'm
is young
fucking
Will Patton.
stoked for. But yeah, I'm so excited
Okay.
for this. But yeah, I don't know if it was this or Crash that Tarantino watched and Arquette was in it and was like, I'm going to put her in Pulp Fiction. So once again, not trying to make this a whole Tarantino
Sure
podcast,
is.
but a lot of these are 6 degrees. Some of these movies are notable films that huge Hollywood directors saw.
Welcome back to Tarantino Time. This is Jordan, and we're going to talk about Tarantino.
I mean, we should just do that. Just have like a section of the show for that.
But honestly, most of this stuff spans off of what influences us.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
as people, you like Tarantino. I have no idea who I enjoy, man. I just give me a good movie.
I'm
That's
a huge Scorsese fan. I don't care. He could talk shit about Marvel movies till the cows come home. I don't care, dude. The dude has cut his chops in Hollywood. He's done his thing, and he's made some absolutely incredible films.
When I think of Scorsese, I think of probably more drama, more things like that line. And when I heard that he directed this movie, it threw me off.
You're
a
right.
little bit.
I don't.
To be a comedy movie.
Yeah, I don't peg him as like a comedy movie kind of guy. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for this.
Yeah, me too. I get to, since my work schedule's all screwed up, I get to watch it tomorrow night. So I'll be, or actually tonight, because we're recording this on a Sunday, which we usually do on a Saturday. But what was I going to say? Okay, so did we all see the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer?
I did.
And
I
did you?
wanted
Yeah,
to
you
avoid
watched
it,
it
but
here.
I watched it.
Yeah, I
anyway.
watched it too. What did we think? Are we stoked or we don't care?
This will be right up my alley.
Yeah. Punchy punch, special effects, craziness.
Everyone.
I saw a lot in this trailer, and I'm still left with 1,000 questions. And I think, as much as I hate when they show too much, I still feel they pulled off. There's going to still be some mystery to this story.
Yeah, the story itself, which I agree with. I don't care anymore if Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield are
I
in
don't know
it.
why they're keeping it such a secret.
I
It's the
don't
worst
either.
kept secret in
it
Hollywood.
really
at this
is.
point.
But at this point, I don't care. Like, if they're in it, cool. If they're not, whatever. I need to know how this connects, because the biggest complaint we had with the last, like, Shang-Chi and the Eternals is they're kind of one-offs. Like, they don't really connect to the main universe. They do in the post-credits, but I'm tired of waiting for post-credits. Give me a good story. I didn't necessarily hate Shang-Chi. I just thought it was there. Eternals was there. I want, according to Tom Holland, this was like a huge, this is Spider-Man's endgame, and it's going to cause all these problems in the universe. That's what I want to know about, because what is going on? Like, they've lost their main characters. They're bringing in all these characters that we don't care about. Make me care again, because as of right now, you're going down a very DC path where I just do not give a fuck.
Okay,
but I did enjoy this trailer. I like seeing Doc Ock. I love seeing Willem Dafoe's, Goblin. Even though those movies do not age well, but I enjoy it. It's like 20 years later, I can show my kid this.
I'm calling it right now. It's November 21st. Aunt May's dying in this movie.
Think so?
Oh, hell yes.
Marissa Tomei's like,
you're killing her beautiful ass off.
I love Marissa Tomei.
No, because there has to, I think I read something that Tom Holland, who is notoriously always giving stuff away, I think maybe he's trying to ratchet it back and not say stuff, but he said this is a bummer movie. Like, this is not going to be this up with people, happy feeling, ending on a good note Spider-Man movie. This is going to be a bummer. And I think I kind of like that, because the first two movies were very, he's in high school, it's happy-go-lucky, fun, let's put a bow on everything. There's consequences, but not really. You know what I mean? Like, yay, everyone's happy, he's Spider-Man. I think this one's really going to test him. Acting-wise, action, just the universe itself. You're right, I think it's going to feel very Endgame. It's got a ton of people in it.
I know.
I think the bigger surprise in this movie, not for Tobey or Andrew Garfield, I think you're going to see all these Spider-Man fighting, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Miles Morales is just going to come in and spin kick somebody, and then it's just going to be like, holy shit, we got the Black Spider-Man finally.
Right.
Because they already teased him with...
He's not black. He's Mexican and...
He's still black.
Okay.
His dad was black, and his mom was, like, Puerto Rican.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, he's, like, black.
He's Mexican.
Yes.
Don't
cancel us.
He's cafe con leche.
That was all Jordan. So his employer.
I can say that. I'm like, damn it, don't do that. But no, I think that would be the bigger kept secret because they have teased his character in the first Spider-Man movie with
Glover.
Donald Glover being the Prowler.
Yes.
So, I mean, that would be a bigger secret to reveal, and that would be kind of. Honestly, I'd be okay with it. Like, I like his character. I don't mind it.
I like
Into the
Miles
Spider-Verse.
Morales.
Honestly, was the best Spider-Man movie and cartoon that I just love it, and my kids loved it. I loved it. I can't wait for the sequel. There's just so much they can do with it. The writers of that movie were supposed to do Solo, and they got kicked off. Good, because Solo sucked.
But I think they could have made it way better. And I mean, they did clearly make a better film.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen what they have done in the Star Wars universe.
Me too.
But Star Wars is notorious for, like, we hate good directors.
Oh,
Kick them out.
Did you hear what the new stuff is going on? Creative differences has pushed
Rain
Patty
Johnson.
Jenkins off of
Yes.
Rogue Squadron. They pushed it back, but I don't think that movie's ever going to get made. And then, Ryan Johnson's little universe that he's building, which is surprising because his movie, for me, of the new trilogy, was the best of the three.
Listen here. I'll watch it later podcast. Come at us, bro. The Last Jedi is the best fucking Star Wars movie out of the fucking trilogy. You don't think so? Let's fucking debate.
Yeah.
Because fuck you. That is a true representation of what those characters would be like 30 years later. Not this piddly shit where you wanted God, Jesus, Luke Skywalker to walk in and fix everything. Fuck you. The Last Jedi is good. Eat a dick. Anyways.
No, I agree. No, I agree.
I'm gonna
almost
come embrace you.
Wholeheartedly.
No, I just I hate that the argument is still 10 years. Well, I don't even know. It's been like 8 years.
I'm gonna say this: J.J. Abrams is a hack. I'm sorry, he's a hack. He made the first movie, which I think played off nostalgia.
Yes,
it was A New Hope redone with a new skin, new characters, but I really liked it, and
me
it brought me.
You see Afterlife.
It brought me. I don't want to talk about it. It brought me back into a world that I felt familiar, and that's why I liked it. Ryan Johnson flipped everything on its head, did some cool shit.
Yes,
it was just a chase movie. It was fun. Luke Skywalker's an asshole. That's what he should be. He fucks shit up. He shouldn't have been training Jedi. That man trained in the woods with a lizard for 2 days and then thought he could be a fucking Jedi master. Screw you. This is exactly what it should have been. And then JJ's like, no, you threw out my script. You threw out my fucking script. I'm going to shove everything that I want to do in the second into the third and the third movie and made some bullshit movie about the Emperor coming back. Fuck you. That was the dumbest move ever. I hated that third movie. It wasn't as good as it should have been. The second movie is the better of the entire trilogy.
Yes.
Fuck you, J.J. Abrams. I'll never let my kids listen to this part because I'm cussing way too fucking much, but fuck you. The Last Jedi is the best of the trilogy. And you know what? The Last Jedi is the best of the prequel trilogy and this new trilogy. Fuck you. I hated that.
So for
it was so good.
So for the final part of the show, I'd like to pass the teddy bear around, and I want you guys to point to the teddy bear where
it's not
movies
that.
hurt
It's
you.
the argument. It's the argument. It's
People
over and over
trash
and
that
over
movie
again.
so much.
They don't understand. They're
I
like,
love it.
fuel. Oh, this. We're worried about this. Oh, there's a purple-haired chick. Dude, it all works. It fucking works.
When she took that ship, went into light speed into that Star Destroyer, and the sound went completely out, and all you were left with is the coolest visual in Star Wars. I wanted to stand up and just pump my fist in the air. It was the coolest thing that the Star Wars has done in forever.
Right.
And JJ was like, no, that's not what I wanted, and completely just shit on everybody and made that third movie. And no. Kylo Ren should not have been a redeemable character.
I agree.
The Knights of Ren was such a
waste of time.
Great premise that they said, no, we don't want to show you any of that. Just kidding. And then they said, you know what worked in that first movie? Nostalgia. Let's bring back the Emperor for no reason whatsoever. And you know how they bring him back? At the beginning crawl and said, somehow the Emperor's back. Oh no! Poe Dameron's in it. Whatever. I don't fucking care. No.
How about this? How about fucking Rey can say whatever she
Oh,
can, she
they
can
could-
claim whatever name she wants. She's Palpatine. All the Skywalkers are dead.
the
Fuck
end-
J.J. Abrams. You're all
end of that
stupid.
movie was
You're all
terrible.
dumb if you like that movie because they're dead. There's no Skywalkers left. She can say whatever she wants to be her name. That doesn't make her a Skywalker. Her bloodline is still Palpatine. Fuck you. The bad guys won. J.J. Abrams literally made it so the bad guys of the film won the entire universe.
So bad.
Literally think about that the next time you sit down and watch Rise of Skywalker. Anyways, let's move on. So stop hitting my lightsaber.
This is
bro.
going to be the one-off show that we do. We're just going to talk about that
Everybody
trilogy.
take a breath. Everybody take a breath. Let's have a moment. We can come down.
I like
here.
that we started talking about Spider-Man and it morphed into fucking The Last Jedi. But Scott and I check out Ghostbusters Afterlife. We will talk about it on the next show. I'm kind of moving away from the Blu-ray releases thing because that doesn't really matter.
Without saying anything, fucking go watch this movie.
Yes, especially if you love the first two. I just
Jesus.
think, to me, even if they don't do another sequel or anything like that, I feel like I'm not ruining anything.
No. I'm going to say that. So we left the
Yeah,
theater.
we did.
There
I know.
is an
Yep.
after credit scene.
There's two.
There's two. There's one that's super quick, and then because I felt in my deepest hearts
But we should've
that we
stayed.
missed something.
I know.
And I went
Totally.
back and I watched it this morning. We are getting another one.
Okay, so but even if you didn't put another sequel, I think this is a really good bow for
It's so good.
Ivan Reitman and his son and everything like that. I think it was perfect. And yeah, it's nostalgia trip 3000. I know Jordan hasn't seen it. I'm not going to say anything, but I just really want you all to know out there, like, if you are a fan of the first two Ghostbusters, in my opinion, you will love this film. It is not what you think it is, especially from watching the trailers. It goes a completely different direction, and it works, in my opinion. And
There may have been grown men tearing up in the theater.
Oh, I'm gonna. I feel like I'm gonna cry. Like I want to bring my daughter, but I don't know if I want to see me cry like that because
this
I'm
movie
going to.
brought some waterworks out of my eyes, and that does not happen.
Scott cried.
Well, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people's complaints when they see that, they're like, "Oh, this is just going to be a kids movie. This is going to be a Ghostbusters being kids movie." That's what they're all going for.
But it is too.
But see, I'm okay with
Don't
that.
say anything else.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's.
I'm
it
okay
is.
with it. I'm okay with that. You are actually the second person. So you told me that you loved it, blah blah blah, all this stuff. Our pal Eric Nagel went and saw it yesterday as well, and he was telling me last night almost the exact same thing. It's perfect. It's
so
awesome.
good.
It's a lot of nostalgia, but they do it in such a good way that it doesn't feel like ham-fisted.
Exactly.
And he said there is a reference even in the movie, and he wouldn't tell me what it is, so I'm excited to try to find it myself, to the real Ghostbusters cartoon.
Oh yes, there
And
is.
so I think that is great. He also agrees with me that 2016 all-female led version, not that it's bad that it was female led, it's just it was a terrible story.
It was a terrible movie. I saw it in theaters.
Well, and years ago, Seth Rogen had a script out there, and they were going to do a follow-up, a Ghostbusters 3, where they were the new group of guys in the same universe. So, like, the old crew were, like, running the business, but these guys were the new crew taking on stuff. That premise sounds great.
Right.
The Ghostbusters in 2016 took that and said, nope, we're just going to say none of that existed. We're the ones that started this. And that's where that movie failed. If they would have said, we're a female version of a crew with the old crew running the ship, that could have worked a little bit better.
Right.
And it had nothing to do with female leads, nothing. I don't think any of them were funny, but I don't think Melissa McCarthy is funny.
Kate McKinnon
Kate
is
McKinnon
funny.
is great. I love her to
But
death.
not in that movie.
Yeah, and what's her name? The black actress. And and I'm not trying to be racist in any way. I think she is not funny.
No, she's
and
not.
everything she does is unfunny. And it bums me out because she was very hurt by the way people reacted to this movie.
What's her name? Leslie
Jones.
Leslie Jones.
She's not funny. I'm sorry.
I
Melissa
agree.
McCarthy, not funny. And they tried to jam so many bad jokes and then said, well, since we're all female, of course the bad guy's male. And of course all the jokes about people are going to be toward the
They
guys.
made Chris Hemsworth like the
Hemsworth's an idiot.
stupidest character on the planet. And
Yeah,
it's like, all right.
and so like I understand the pendulum's going to swing, but when you swing too far another way, it doesn't make it any better. So screw you for doing that. I'm glad this movie is riding that ship, and
Yes. Oh, it rides it. But
I'm so excited. I'm gonna go see it.
My thing about it is
You're gonna go with me at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, if you go, I will go. 2016 Ghostbusters, and you're sitting here and we're kind of crapping on that. I don't think any Melissa McCarthy movies are funny. I've never sat down and I've seen a lot of them. I've seen Identity Thief, which I love. Jason Bateman. That movie is unfunny. She makes it unfunny. Her comedic timing in those films are terrible. What else has she been in?
Bridesmaids. Everyone loves Bridesmaids.
I love Bridesmaids.
I hate that movie.
I love Bridesmaids.
See, I think she's actually that was probably her best role.
I didn't care for her. In
Oh, you liked her shitting in the sink? That was the best. That was the comedic timing she needed?
That's the stuff I find funny. See, I don't think she's terrible. I think she's in bad movies, but I think she has some moments where she is funny. Bridesmaids is a great movie, and I think she's funny in Bridesmaids.
Is made funny by the lead.
They took her and just said she was hilarious in Bridesmaids. Let's put her in all these other movies that she's not going to be funny in.
Did you like Spy, Scott?
No.
Okay, exactly.
Is that
I
the one
saw
with
that.
Jason Statham?
Yes, and Jude Law, and she has to be a spy.
No,
but
she doesn't.
It's funny because she's chubby, and it's like, no, it's not funny. It's fucking stupid. So I don't want.
And it's coming from a guy who probably has the same build. So
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. And then Leslie Jones. What have you seen her in? What have you seen her in? She doesn't go in anything. You're not funny. You were in SNL, and you weren't even funny. You were only
Leslie Jones plays, and I hate to say this, but she plays stereotypical characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
When she's in movies, she is stereotyped and railroaded into a certain type of
She
character.
was the sassy black woman in that.
Correct.
She was like, "Oh hell nah," and then like bitch slapping, pimp slapping, and like.
But she's
isn't
she's
funny.
that in every movie.
This is not funny. What other movie?
That's
Can you
her
name another movie?
That's
I
her
can't.
shtick. Some people have a shtick
Yeah.
and they ride it to the ground and burn the building down.
Now I did find when she was, I guess the last Olympics that came by, she was like live tweeting like at 3 a.m, and she had some funny commentary about the Olympics, and she can be funny. I just think you're right. If she goes too hardcore on the stereotypes of being the sassy black woman, it just falls short for me. And, yes, I'm not the target audience. I'm a middle-aged white dude, but I've seen 1,000 movies. I've loved 70s exploitation movies. Like some of my favorite movies are like, some of the black-led movies of the 70s and 80s. And to see what happened to that now, like...
Well, you couldn't make those films now.
No, but it doesn't matter. Like, you could still do a good... black-led cast without falling into the stereotypes of you're the gangbanger or you're the sassy group. Or
speaking of, did any of you see The Harder They Fall on Netflix?
Oh, is that the Idris Elba Western?
Fucking
I haven't yet.
Awesome.
I heard it's good.
All black cast, extraordinarily entertaining, dude. Like, as a Western, it doesn't really work, but story-wise, it's fucking cool as hell.
Is it cool as Posse?
I don't.
Mario Van Peebles Western?
Oh, I didn't see that. No. I need to buy his Criterion. But I don't want to sit here and act like we're shitting on black-led movies or anything. But
No, I'm not doing that at all.
I watched that.
You just complimented one.
Yes, that's what I'm trying
telling
to say.
you now, like I said, like I love... I'll watch the Friday trilogy like till my dying day.
Yeah,
like
I
just
I
give me a
love
good
movies
movie.
like that.
I don't give a shit who's in it.
Higher Learning
Just
is
give me a
fantastic.
good movie. I love Higher Learning. I love Boys in the Hood, dude. I love those
Menace to
movies.
Society
I
shipped
love.
my
Yes.
Criterion.
Menace to Society.
Menace to Society is a great movie.
I
man.
feel like that puts it into stereotypes though. But I'm just
But
saying,
that was the time.
Yeah.
Menace to Society is not like a stereotype. It was just real life.
Yeah.
And it kind of were the Boys in the Hood. It took Boys in the Hood to another level.
I feel like this conversation is I'm not racist, but so I'm just gonna move on. Anyways,
Look, I'm not racist, but I like John Singleton movies.
Yeah, me too. Not all of them.
Right.
Anyways, so all right.
Yes, I saw that, and then I want to watch it.
What?
That Western.
Oh,
it looks
The Harder
awesome.
They Fall on Netflix.
I love Idris Elba.
Dude,
Like, I love his movies.
But see, Idris Elba's good in it, but everyone surrounding him is good in it. Like, please, I'm sorry if I fuck up how to say this. Lakeisha Sharefield. I don't know how to say it.
Oh my God! What were you trying to say?
God, he was in that movie. He was in Get Out. He plays the.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He was in what was it? The one with the horse. All the white people are becoming horses at the end.
What movie is this?
Oh, fuck, what is it called? It's really good.
That sounds like a horror movie to me.
It is kind
I'm
of a horror
legit scared of horses. So that sounds like a horrible movie.
You're scared of horses?
Yeah.
Wait, let's dive into that.
Yeah, I don't.
Here on
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, Lakeith Stanfield.
You couldn't say Lakeith?
I don't know how to. I just don't
Lakeith.
Lakeith. Yeah.
La and Keith.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Lakeith.
You're right. You're right.
Who is this
Sorry
guy?
to bother you. Watch Sorry to Bother You.
Jonathan Majors is in it. He plays. He's going to be the new big bad in all the Marvel movies.
Yes,
he's in
it.
Loki. Regina
He plays.
King.
So I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I'll just set up the beginning. Is Idris Elba comes to this guy's house, kills his dad and his mom, leaves him alive, and cuts a cross into his head. And then it's him growing up, and he's hunting down his posse and Idris Elba.
I don't know why this cast looks great.
It's dude. I'm telling you, I watched
Delroy
it.
Lindo, I love him.
I watched it, and I want to watch it again because I watched it on my phone the first time. I want to watch it on my actual TV.
It's almost got the same premise as Once Time in the West. It's a revenge. It's a revenge story.
Well, most westerns are.
Yeah.
But it's stylish. Like you like the gang. There's funny dialogue being thrown back and forth to each other. Like they're trying to figure out who the best shot is and stuff like that.
You mean it's not the black cast version of that Adam Sandler western that they put on Netflix?
Oh, God, that thing was fucking terrible. I think I watched that too.
I
because
did
I will
too.
watch anything Adam Sandler.
It's so bad.
All right.
No,
Well,
I'll watch this.
Get the
Yes.
fuck out of here. I think we've been talking for like an hour and a half.
Fuck that. I want to talk about The Harder They Fall for another hour.
Well, then you need to go
Dude,
watch
2 hours and 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Pick a
I
night,
know.
and I'll watch it at the same time. We'll watch together.
Okay. So anyways, I'll watch it later podcast. Follow us again on Facebook. The movie for next week is After Hours, and then we move into holiday movies, holiday snack show. We got the seltzers. We got the Bud Light seltzers.
Oh, yeah. We got the Bud Light seltzers. We got
so
we
much.
got the Sonic seltzers.
Yes, we're going to try them all.
I mean, technically, we could go out and there's a third seltzers we can get. Was it just the tropical? But I don't want those.
I don't want to over seltzer.
By the end of this show, it might go fucking haywire because there's going to be a lot of drinking.
There's going to be a lot of seltzers involved. And I want to try every flavor.
I got some interesting stuff to bring to the table. I haven't seen what you... I think you got the gingerbread Mountain Dew.
I do, yeah, that's right. Fuck, we're going to have a liquid show. We're going to have multiple potty breaks.
Anyways, so as I stated before, we got a snack show coming up. We got After Hours coming up. Then we're going to move into the holiday season where all of our picks will be holiday related. Doesn't matter which one. Kwanzaa, fucking Hanukkah, Christmas.
We're going to try to dig deep.
Yeah.
5 stars for anyone that finds a Kwanzaa movie.
Bring you some interesting stuff.
And then once again on Christmas, you will be getting your Cockfighter episode. So stay tuned for that.
It's our gift to you.
We will be giving you our
And to
top
myself.
5 best movies of the year and my top 5 least favorite movies of the year. And these are movies that came out this year. If you want, maybe next year, 2022, I know no one cares about this, but I'll do like best movies I've seen for that year, even though they're older movies or whatever. So now that I'm watching way more movies because of the podcast and because of the shows I'm listening to. So anyways, who cares?
Is it bad at the beginning? I predicted that he would talk about what's coming through next December, and he just literally told you what he wants to do next December.
I'm just kind of thinking out loud. So, this is a lot of stuff that people could tell us on Facebook. I don't care about that, or who cares? But I think it's good to have a running dialogue like that. So, anyways, follow us along on Facebook. I'll Watch It Later podcast. Check out our Twitter and our Instagram at Watch It Later Pod. You can always go to
everything's
Watch It
linked to
Later
everything.
watchitlaterpod.com. Find everything there. Please send us a message this week. That would be amazing.
Yeah, go to Facebook.
Yeah.
We'll interact, man.
We will.
Well, Jordan and I will interact.
Yes, they will interact.
Maybe we'll just air
They'll
it.
screenshot it and send it to me, and I will say something, and they will ignore it.
You completely black out everything. You're going to get like a CIA dossier of just blacked out lettering, and it's going to say, "Thanks for listening." And then nothing else will be coming through.
Thank you for joining us this week. I'm Aaron.
I'm Jordan.
And Scott.
And we will see you guys next week. I tried to end the show prematurely, but it's okay. Thank you guys so much. This is I'll Watch It Later podcast. We'll see you next week.
At least I didn't get yelled at.
Goodbye.